yeah. Is it, what's today? Tuesday? Is it Tuesday already? We had May the 4th yesterday, Maul Shadow Lord episode 9 and 10, the finale of Maul Shadow Lord yesterday, and my goodness, did it not disappoint. We're going to break down that finale. We got Ahsoka Season 2 leaks. Oh, yeah. Once one show ends, the next show starts to ramp it up because these leaks are insane. Leaks towards Kujet in the Zepho, but also the Mortis Gods as well. And if that's not enough, the newest trailer for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie is heavily teasing Din Djarin's death. And it's not just me going, oh, I think Din Djarin's going to die. Like, watch it for yourselves. We'll watch it. We'll watch it. It's undeniable. It's undeniable, chat. But without further ado, let's dive into all of it. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing on this fine Tuesday afternoon? So we got a fun one today as we are breaking down the final 2 episodes of Maul Shadow Lord. I also want to put it in the rankings of our Star Wars shows, which we will do as well. But the Ahsoka Season 2 leaks have got me so excited for that series. And yesterday, I did go see the first 25 minutes of The Mandalorian and Grogu. Without spoilers, of course. It was awesome. Seeing Star Wars on the big screen is exactly how we want it to. But the 25 minutes that I watched were the same 25 minutes that people saw at CinemaCon. So I read the description of that, and it was the exact same thing. It was awesome. I mean, there's nothing better than seeing Star Wars on the big screen. Okay, but before we dive into any of that, tell me in the chat, on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you give that Maul Shadow Lord episode 9 and 10? The finale of Maul Shadow Lord. What do you give it on a scale of 1 to 10? And while you do so, let's say hi to everybody in the chat, shall we? James, how we doing? Sat Strat in the building. John Groom, what is up? Brandon Baker, how we doing? Holly in the building. WV Grad, what is up? Steve, how we doing? Freddie in the house. Darth Doyle, what is up? Hera Sindula in the building. Kyler, what is up? Diabolic Cooling, great username. Mojo, how we doing? Or Mojo Dojo, sorry. How we doing? Mando United, what is up? Starship 66 in the building. WV Grab, what is up? Roberts in the house. Jessica, what is up? Darth Plagueis lives. How we doing? Master Beckham in the house. All right, if I missed you, you know the deal. Just yell at me in the chat. Let's give everybody a nice little
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
All right, let's start with Maul Shadow Lord. First things first, check this out. After all 10 episodes have been released, Maul Shadow Lord currently sits at a 98% critic review, making it the highest rated Star Wars project of all time. Not just shows, not just animation, every single Star Wars project, which is absolutely insane. And the audience score is not telling a different story. The audience score is a 92. And in the Star Wars fandom in 2026, this is a miracle. This is an absolute miracle. I guess it's an animated show, so a lot of, those people that just make money off of hating on Star Wars for no reason don't watch the animated stuff. But either way, 92 for audience score, 98 for critic score. Do we agree with this? Chat? On a scale of 1 to 10, what do you give the finale for Maul Shadow Lord? Tell me in the chat. Actually, let's put up a poll. If you have not already, smash a freaking like on this stream. I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. Get on that. But let's do this. What did you think of Maul? Or let's just go Maul's finale. Did you love it? Did you like it? Were you like, meh, I mean, it's all right? Or did you hate it? What do we think, chat? Where are we at? Look at these scores in the chat right now. 10, 10 plus, 10, 10, 9.9, okay. 11 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Darth Plagueis lives with a very generous $5 holla, says 100 out of 10. It was peak. I appreciate the super chat. 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10, 8, 67 out of 10. Okay. 10 plus, 10 plus, 10 plus, 10 plus, 10, 10, 10. Okay, so people are pretty excited, you know? People are pretty hyped up on Maul Shadow Lord. Deservingly so. And I think a lot of it has to do with, a lot of it has to do with this one thing. This one guy. The chosen one himself. The Dark Lord, which is indeed the title of episode 10. Vader. Lord Vader. Another Michael Love Star Wars. I appreciate that. Yeah, just send it as a regular chat again, because just so you don't have to send another super chat. Just send it as a regular chat, and I'll read it. So this was crazy. We sit here pretty much every single week, dissecting every single frame of every single trailer. We have 3 live streams a week where we go for about 2 hours talking about Star Wars for hours on end. And we still couldn't have predicted this. Lucasfilm still blows our freaking minds every single time. We thought Master Daki was, or I thought, I should say, Master Daki was going to die in episode 1 or 2. He lasted till the finale, and his death was, oh my goodness. But we'll get into deaths in a second. Because as much as I kill off characters in Star Wars, I was behind the 8 ball in this series. I did not predict nearly enough deaths because everybody was just dying. Everybody died in this finale. Not everybody, but you know what I mean. So I was behind on my death predictions. That will not happen again. We will be killing off Din Djarin today, and for valid reason. For valid reason. But pretty much everybody, and correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but pretty much everybody was saying that Vader is not going to be in season 1, and if he is, it will just be a little bit of a teaser, maybe a hologram, maybe he shows up at the end, maybe you just hear his breathing for season 2. Just the teaser for season 2, that's all. The finale is just going to be a fight between, Maul and our Jedi and the Inquisitors, and that's it. Not only is Vader in the finale, he's in episode 9, and then the entire finale, episode 10, is just an epic lightsaber duel between Maul, the Jedi, and Vader. Maul versus Vader. What Star Wars fans have been begging for 27 years now, since Maul graced our screens in 1999, has officially become reality, has officially become canon to Star Wars. Oh, I've watched these episodes back, I don't even know how many times at this point, and they just keep getting better. It does not stop. And what's crazy is I thought Maul Shadow Lord would be good, okay? I thought it would. It's Maul. He's my 3rd favorite character of all time. So I had pretty high hopes going in. Those hopes were exceeded beyond belief. It's absolutely insane how great this show was, and I don't think anybody saw it coming. Like, I thought it would be good. This good? We're talking about it possibly being the best animated Star Wars of all time. Where you're going up against like Rebels and Clone Wars and Bad Batch and Tales, where you've had just peak Star Wars all over the place. And now season 1, you can't compare this show to another season 1. Clone Wars season 1, it blows it out of the water. Rebels season 1, don't even start. Bad Batch season 1? Are you kidding me? So the fact that we're already getting a second season of this show, the fact that it could go for 3, 4, 5, 6 seasons? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So, let's start with some Easter eggs. Let's start with what StarWars.com gave us for the Easter eggs for episode 9 and 10. We'll talk about this. We'll break down the episode, and then I want to rank it. We're doing a very quick ranking today of all seasons of Star Wars television, and yes, Maul is now on that list. I want to do it quickly because we have Ahsoka Season 2 news. We have the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer, which has Din Djarin, freaking dying in it. But we'll get to all that. But before we do, let's break this down really quickly. Okay, so this is coming from StarWars.com themselves. They do these, trivia things for the episodes. So first we got Janix. We got a whole new look at the planet of Janix today. and it was awesome. Or yesterday, I should say. We got all these ruins and everything. And anytime I see a planet that has this much history to it, I immediately go to the Dawn of the Jedi. I immediately go to the possibility of us getting Old Republic content very, very soon. Because now, in those other projects, we could get Janix in this ancient civilization that we see on the planet when they were at least at their height. So all these ruins that we see where Vader and Maul fight in, those could eventually be retold at their peak in a older project, like a Dawn of the Jedi. That's just immediately where my mind goes, and it's like, oh my God.
This is where the fun begins.
So, having said that, the statue scene in the empty town square is a memorial to long past conflicts in Janix history, and that's what you get a lot of in these two episodes. Dryden Voss. We did not mess around at all. The opening scene is Dryden Voss. We thought, yeah, he'd come and save the day, which he does, but it's the opening scene. And we learn that right now in the timeline, Dryden is not the leader of the Crimson Dawn. And he wants to take out his boss. And in doing so, he's going to save Maul and have Maul kill his boss in return. So we know where this goes. We know what happens in Solo. And this leads me to our big question of the day. Do you guys think that Season 2 will have a huge time jump? Like, I'm talking maybe 3, 4, 5 years. What do we think? Because how we ended this series with Maul talking to Dryden, telling him that he's going to kill his boss and then allow Dryden to become the new leader, we know that happens. We know all of that goes down. We don't need to see that. No offense, but we don't need to see that. The only thing we would miss out on would be Devon's training. And again, as much as I would love to see that, we kind of got that in this first season. So it seems like we would get a second a time jump so that we could see just, the next big story. It's like Andor. It's taking the most important pieces of Maul's story throughout this entire series. Give us the news on Ahsoka Season 2. We'll get to it. We got 2 of the greatest episodes of Star Wars content ever to talk about first. I mean, I don't want to just breeze past Maul to get to Ahsoka Season 2. Another Mike who loves Star Wars says, these watch parties are awesome. This was from last night. It's great to see so many fans staying up late to connect with each other in the Star Wars universe. Thanks, Mike. You're the best. How about your best Maul impression? Everybody loves the Kenobi scream. Everybody loves that. And I suppose I could get behind that. In my mind's eye. Wait, I need my green apple. Where's my green apple? I can feel him. Kenobi.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Gonna ruin my microphone. Okay, where were we? So, yes. Dryden Voss was right away. Can we talk about this for a second? Rook Cast's death. Rook Cast R.I.P. So here's what happened. In episode 9, on that epic lightsaber duel in the acid pits below Janix, we got to start talking about this series as if, it's something that's been here forever. When you watch episode 9 and 10, you immediately get the feeling of this is going to last a while. When people talk about their favorite scenes in Star Wars, we're watching them right now. When people quote Anakin's gone, I am what remains, like when we watched Kenobi in that finale, you were like, this is gonna last. This is gonna be something that people are quoting forever. That's how I felt when we watched these 2 episodes. That's how it feels right now. The Maul versus Vader fight will be talked about for centuries to come. However, when Spybot gets sliced in half with Marok throwing his lightsaber, first of all, that one hit me hard. Spybot was like my favorite character in this show just because he's a very cool new design for a droid. And I was like, we could be getting multiple seasons of Spybot. Nope.
Incorrect.
No one is safe in this show. They had to remind... Okay, that's really pissing me off now. They had to remind us what's going on here. This is a show about the bad guys, and we are going to get a bunch of people dying. So starting with Spybot, then Icarus goes down in a pretty awesome way, if I do say so myself. Icarus goes down. The Mandalorians start falling. Even Brander Lawson, but we'll get to that. But to cap off that 9th episode, Rook Cast dies. Did not see this coming. For all those Star Wars fans that were hoping Rook Cast becomes the Armorer, I got bad news for you. I got really bad news. That is not going to happen. That is no longer the case. However, did you see this coming? Don't lie to me, chat. Did you see this coming? There's no way. There's no way. I'm guessing she's not in Mando. No, she is not. No, she is not. The Typhoonian with the very generous $5 holla says, to quote Battlefront 2, once again, Darth Vader proves no one is a match for a Dark Lord of the Sith. 10 out of 10 finale, 9.5 out of 10 overall for the show. Gotta love that. Yeah, anytime Vader comes on screen, there's no stopping him. And might I add, they portray Vader unbelievably well. Maul is hurt throughout this entire fight, so he's not at 100%, but even still, he's fighting Maul and 2 Jedi. And he's using one hand for most of the fight. He's barely even, breaking a sweat. He doesn't say a single word in the entire 2 episodes. He's just there for fun. He's just messing around. He doesn't care. He's just hanging out, killing Jedi, doing his job. There's nothing more to this for him. This is just light work. He's not fighting Obi-Wan. He's not fighting Ahsoka, somebody who he has an emotional connection to. This is just another day in the office for Vader. He's just vibing. He's just doing his job. So good. Okay, but in early drafts, there was a much more graphic death for Rook Cast, but ultimately they decided that having her being pulled into the darkness of the fog before Vader ignites his lightsaber served as better introduction for the Dark Lord. Now, Vanessa Marshall actually says, and we'll get to it in a second, that her death was very brutal. But would you guys have preferred a more graphic on-screen death for Rook Cast? Sort of like maybe a neck snap or something like that? I guess they were... In Star Wars animation, usually when somebody dies, they cut away from it. When somebody's head gets chopped off, they cut away from it. You know it happens, but, it still is geared towards the teenager that George Lucas always intended Star Wars to be for. So they're not going to go out of their way to make it like The Boys or Invincible, where it's just these crazy graphic deaths. That's not the case. So I actually like the way she dies. She comes out saying something or someone is out there. Calling Vader a thing is crazy. And then he just drags her back, and you hear this just crazy crackling noise and choking noise, and it's awesome. We'll get to it in a sec. Okay, it's awesome. So Maul versus Vader, this is the first time ever that they've met in the main storyline of canon. However, in non-canon, in Star Wars Tales number 9, a comic that was published in 2002, the two did cross paths. So it's technically not the first time these two have ever fought, but it definitely is in canon. Yeah. More of the Janix ruins, give you a unique look at Janix. It is a city in a crater, but beyond the crater is all this. There was once a pretty large civilization on that. This is one of the coolest ship designs ever. Like, this just gets overlooked because the rest of the episode was just unbelievable, but this is just... Dryden Voss just gets the coolest ships in Star Wars. His yacht in Solo right here, the first light, is so cool. And now he gets this. I mean, this looks sort of a combination between like the Naboo ship in the Phantom Menace meets Maul's ship, sort of, in a way. But this design is just awesome. Okay, but moving on. The E-Web, of course, we saw in The Mandalorian and in Empire Strikes Back. Okay, yeah. Maul not knowing who Vader is. In the Clone Wars, when he's trying to get Ahsoka on his side, he's talking about how Anakin Skywalker has been groomed to become Palpatine's apprentice. But he doesn't know that under that mask for Vader is Anakin. At least not yet. It almost seems like he figures it out halfway through episode 10. Tell me in the chat if you think he figured it out. Because when he first fights him, he says, "You are no Inquisitor." Or "You're not an Inquisitor, you're something more." And then Master Daki is like, "I fear that this is a Sith Lord." And Maul's like, "There's no way." So tell me in the chat, do you think he realized that it could be Anakin under that mask, and that the apprentice that Palpatine was creating has lived? What do we think? What do we think?
This is where the fun begins.
Did he figure it out? And if not, like, he's going to figure it out in season 2. At some point in this show, he's going to figure it out. He's too smart not to? I don't know. It's been years since Order 66. It's been years since the galaxy has been told that Anakin Skywalker died. Maul knows about the Inquisitors. He mentions the Jedi Hunters like in episode 4. So he knows all about the Inquisitors. He does not know about Vader. How much did he really know about Anakin? Well, he knew that Palpatine was grooming him to be his apprentice. He knew that he was Obi-Wan's Padawan. He knew that he was Ahsoka's master. So we don't really know how much Maul knows. But I feel like if anybody can put the pieces together, it's this guy. You know? It's Maul. Continuing. Vader's entrance is heavily influenced by Jason from Friday the 13th. And Michael Myers, of course, from Halloween. This one was really cool. The moment Vader emerges from the mist is an homage to the concept art of Ralph McQuarrie's cover of the first Star Wars spin-off novel, Splinters of the Mind's Eye. Which, I mean, that's the cover of the book right there. And then this is Vader's entrance. So cool. So cool. The design for Vader in this series, artists return to the muscular body type of bodybuilder David Prowse, who first filled the suit in New Hope. So very much the bigger build Vader in this as well. While Vader's iconic breathing can be heard throughout the battle, the iconic James Earl Jones voice was not utilized for this appearance. Furthermore, the Dark Lord makes no sound to match his fighting efforts. There we go. Indicating that the rest of the characters are far outmatched by his skill. Yeah, him not saying a word in this is just perfect. He could have been like... He could have said anything, honestly, but him saying nothing makes it even more scary, even more like he's just, just another day in the office, just doing his job. It's so good. Yeah. He could have been like, "You were warned what mistakes would be." No. Okay. But yeah, we got the Sludge Lake battle, the acid battle. By the way, this lightsaber duel at the acid pool has been completely overlooked because of Vader. This lightsaber duel is incredible. Like, we're looking at... I mean, do you call it just one lightsaber duel in the finale, I guess? You're looking at two of the greatest lightsaber duels in Star Wars. Period, end of sentence. Not in animation, not in a show, in Star Wars. It's not as good as Mustafar, obviously. It's not as good as Duel of the Fates. Maybe. it's hard to compare animation to live action. However, it's in the conversation. It's 100% in the conversation for greatest lightsaber duels in Star Wars. It's top 10 easy. It's a question of will it be top 5 or, top 1. I'm sure many people are going to say this is my favorite lightsaber duel in Star Wars, and that's not a crazy thing to say. For me, it's not, but it's not crazy to say. Icarus, R.I.P. Steve Blum did voice Icarus in this series. If you don't know, he is also the voice of Zeb Aurelius. And Zeb, of course, being in The Mandalorian and Grogu. Okay. We also get more of this with the acid pools there. Some more designs of the concept designs for Janix. They built a bunch of, matte paintings and actual physical sets. All right, this is what I was talking about. When Vanessa Marshall recorded Rook Cast's unseen final battle, when she gets dragged into the woods, she told the assembled crew that she was aiming for, quote, him to pull my lungs out of my throat. So if you want to picture, if you want to imagine what Rook Cast's death was like, just imagine Vader pulling her lungs out of her throat. That's crazy. That is so crazy. They added the effect of sound designers of the classic throat crunch from A New Hope, which is a great little, nod right there. But yeah, pulling my lungs out of my throat is insane. And then there's that. Okay. So that was the StarWars.com, Easter eggs, whatever, behind the scenes type stuff, which is really, really cool. Now let's go through this quickly because I want to get to the Ahsoka Season 2 news. I want to get to the Mandalorian of it all. But let's rank some Star Wars projects, okay? We're going to do this very, very quick. I know we could spend a whole day doing this, but we're going to go through it quickly. I guess we'll go in the order that it's giving us here because why not? But this is pretty much every single season. We're going by season of every Star Wars show, live action, animated, all of it. Some of them are doubled up. Some of them are like a couple seasons, you know the deal. Okay. Starting with Ahsoka Season 1. For me, tell me in the chat, of course, but for me, it is S tier. It might be, we'll get to it, but it might be one of the best seasons, single seasons. Again, we're talking just single seasons in Star Wars. Ever. Period, end of sentence. Like you're talking not only expanding the lore of Star Wars with an entire new galaxy, explaining why the Purgle exists and what happens with them, where the Night Sisters come from, giving us Grand Admiral Thrawn, the heir to the Empire in live action, giving us the Ghost Crew in live action, but also at the same time giving us an entire arc for Ahsoka, going from she can't train Grogu in Mando Season 2. She can't train anybody because she's scared that they will become the next Vader because she was trained by Vader, and then having that whole world between worlds sequence where she becomes Ahsoka the White because she learns that she's not the reason that Anakin turned and it wasn't her fault. And God, I could talk about Ahsoka all day long, and we will talk about Ahsoka because we got Ahsoka Season 2 leaks. Whew. I think I made my point. So, yeah, it might be number 1 on this list. Okay, Andor Season 1. Where would we put it? Andor Season 1, where would you put it? This is not Season 2, just Season 1. Could I share this to the Discord? Yes, I can, after the live stream. Okay. Where would you put Andor Season 1? What do we think? What do we think? A tier? I kind of agree. Andor Season 2, of course, will be up in that S tier, but I think it's high A's. High A's. A lot of it is set up for Season 2. There is still the whole Narkina 5 prison arc, and of course, that finale is incredible. All right, Bad Batch. Let's go in order for the Bad Batch. Bad Batch Season 1. Where is it? One of these is Season 1, I think. Where would you rank the Bad Batch Season 1? I think it's this one. Yeah, that one. Is it, though? I don't see Bad Batch Season 3 on here. Unless I'm blind. Oh, there it is. Bad Batch Season 3. Bad Batch Season 1, where would we put it? For me, other than the first episode, which is, like a 2-hour-long movie, other than the first episode, a lot of it is filler. A lot of it is getting to know the characters, character development, and all that great stuff, which is necessary because we're getting introduced to a brand new cast of characters pretty much with Omega in Clone Force 99. But having said that, I'm seeing a lot of Bs, some A tiers. It's B. I think it is B, probably high B, but that's where we're at. Okay, Season 2 of The Bad Batch. We'll just go through all 3 seasons of The Bad Batch here real quick. Season 2 of The Bad Batch, I think, is slightly better than Season 1. Does it reach that A tier? Tech's death at the end is just... Season 2 is what made me hate Sid with a burning passion. So, I think it is higher than Season 1. I think Bad Batch did get better every single season. But does it reach that A tier is the question. B tier, but higher than the first? Yes, Sid. Okay, Sid is going to bring it down to a B. But Tech's death. Tech's death, RIP. Let's put some respect on Tech's death, and we'll put it at a low A. All right, Season 3 is S. Below Ahsoka, but it is S. I mean, Season 3 is the perfect culmination of all 3 seasons. Just as I mentioned before, you need that build-up, and the build-up was perfect. Getting to know these characters, having an emotional connection to these characters, thinking they were all going to die when they don't. But Crosshair gets the Skywalker treatment with his hand getting chopped off. The entire Mount Tantus arc is incredible with Project Necromancer and Palpatine. All the stuff with Omega and Emery, with Dr. Hemlock and Scorch. It's an S. I mean, there's no. It's very hard to think of a way that Season 3 could have been better. It's the perfect end to that story. And, of course, the epilogue setting up more Omega, which is great as well. All right, moving on. Next, we got the Book of Boba Fett. We're not going in any sort of order right now. I don't know why, but this is the order it gave me. Book of Boba Fett, where do you put it? I am actually watching the Book of Boba Fett right now. Me and Samantha are on the Book of Boba Fett. And every single time I rewatch Book of Boba Fett, I like it more. I go, why did this get so much hate? Not only does it have one of the greatest individual episodes of all time with From the Desert Comes a Stranger, which has Cobb Vanth versus Cad Bane. It has Cad Bane's first ever live action appearance. It has Luke Skywalker training Grogu. It has Ahsoka meeting Luke Skywalker. It has Din Djarin in the N1 Starfighter. It is by far one of the best episodes of Star Wars ever. It also has the other Mando episode where he builds the N1 Starfighter and all that. And then the finale with the Rancor, where Boba Fett rides the Rancor and fights Cad Bane. The showdown of 2 legendary bounty hunters for Tatooine with the Pikes. It just gets better every single time I watch it. And now, on my rewatch, I'm watching all the stuff with the Tusken Raiders. And it completely makes sense. For anybody out there that's still going, Boba Fett turning good, or good, I guess, doesn't make sense. You're not paying attention. This guy nearly died, right? Fell into the Sarlacc pit, is completely, covered in acid, and he's dying in the sand dunes of Tatooine. The Jawas come and steal his stuff. The Tuskens torture him, and then, he frees himself from the Tuskens. He becomes he learns to become one of the Tuskens for 5 years. We're not talking about a week. We're not talking about a couple days. 5 years. Think about how different you are from 5 years ago. Think about how different the world is from 5 years ago. 2021? Crazy. 5 years in the sand dunes of Tatooine with Tusken Raiders, where he becomes a family man with the Tuskens. And then all of his family dies. So he exacts his revenge on the people who killed his family, takes over his new home world, which is Tatooine, becomes the crime lord there, and wants to rule with respect. Put some respect on his name. Boba Fett gets so much hate, and I'm not standing for it. Boba Fett is 100% better than Bad Batch Season 1, and it's better than Season 2 as well. It's going in A tier under and or Season 1. Every single time I watch it, If you still think in your head that Boba Fett is so bad, go rewatch it. Go rewatch it. Go rewatch it. Okay, next up we got Kenobi. Now, Kenobi's a very weird one for me. Having rewatched it not that long ago, it's another show that gets way too much hate, and specifically the character of Reva, who I'm not a fan of, but still way too much hate. The finale is perfection. The rematch of the century lived up to the hype. The dialogue and the lightsaber fight are the perfect middle point. If you go from Mustafar to Kenobi to A New Hope with the dialogue and the lightsaber fighting, it's perfect. It's the perfect transition from two Jedi in their peaks jumping around on Mustafar. And the dialogue, of course, is the greatest. To now a robot, a machine man who can barely move. He can't jump around like he could when he was Anakin. And he's swinging his lightsaber more so like it's heavier and he's mechanical. And Obi-Wan, an older Jedi now who can't jump around as good. He's still jumping around in Kenobi, but still not nearly the peak of his form that he was in Revenge of the Sith. And then you get to A New Hope, which is, old man versus robot. And it's very slow. And Obi-Wan's really just there to, sacrifice himself. It's the perfect finale. However, the stuff that came before it, it's undeniably a movie turned into a show. A movie elongated for a show. So if you just take the finale, it could be up in the higher S and A tiers. But when you put the rest of the show onto it, it drops drastically. I still think it's better than Bad Batch Season 1, but I'm putting it in the B tier and I'm putting it right there. Okay. Mandalorian Season 1. The Mandalorian Season 1, where are you putting it? Season 1 is Grogu's first introduction. It's getting the team together. It's introducing Moff Gideon. It's Cara Dune and IG-11. And where are we putting Season 1? High A's. S. You could really make the argument that it's S tier. If you take what it did for Star Wars, it's the first ever live action show on Disney Plus. It brought so many fans back to Star Wars, or created so many fans for Star Wars. Grogu is everywhere, and that's why they're getting a movie called The Mandalorian and Grogu in like 17 days. You could really make the argument that it is S tier. You know what? Fuck it. I'm putting it in S tier. It'll be low S tier, but it's still S tier nonetheless. Not just the show itself being incredible. Go back and watch it. It's movie quality on Disney Plus. But also the fact of what it did for Star Wars in general. All right, Season 2, let's just not even mess around with this one. This is S tier. I have it below Ahsoka slightly. The Luke Skywalker coming in at the end is just forever will be an iconic moment in Star Wars. All the stuff with Ahsoka coming to live action, Ahsoka being the one who tells us Grogu's name, was awesome. Bo-Katan in live action for the first time. Boba Fett alive, coming back from the dead. The Cobb Vanth stuff versus the Krayt Dragon. It is perfection. It doesn't have the... It's not the Rebels Season 5 that I was looking for. Ahsoka is just... It's better. Every single episode is better, except for maybe the finale. But having said that, we're comparing two goats. I don't know, like we're comparing greatness versus greatness. So that's an easy one. Now, Season 3, where are we putting it? Season 3 of The Mandalorian, where are we putting that? It's the weakest season of the three, I think. But it's another one that gets so much hate. Some of it deservingly so, some of it not. It's the third season. What's funny to me is the first season is very much just Din Djarin and Grogu getting this relationship. Season 2, the entire arc is getting Grogu back to the Jedi. Season 3 has the most important and biggest story, and yet people hate it the most. It's the perfect end to the entire Mandalorian civil war that we've seen throughout the Clone Wars and throughout Rebels. Mandalore has been at this constant war, and we've seen it plenty on screen. But in Rebels, we see the Empire, and then we see our heroes win, and then it gets turned to glass, and now we have the Mandalorians reunite. All the Mandalorians coming back together to reclaim their homeworld of Mandalore. There's a lot more filler, I think, in season 3 than the other 2 seasons, and that's what makes it, I guess, worse. But for those reasons, it's definitely better than this. It's better than Kenobi, I think, too. But I'm putting it right there in B tier. High B. High B. All right, let's talk some Rebels. Let's talk Rebels. Season 1 of Rebels is the weakest season for sure. But it still gives you the Inquisitors, specifically the Grand Inquisitor at his peak, and the whole some things are more, what does he say? Some things are, I fear more than death, or whatever he says, before he, lets go of the ledge. So Rebel Season 1 is going to be the lowest for sure. It's better than Bad Batch Season 1, absolutely. But it's not better than Kenobi. It's not better than Mando Season 3. Season 2 now. Season 2 is extremely underrated when you talk about Rebels, because Season 3 and 4 are just peak. They're just peak. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But Season 2 is Vader. Season 2 is Ahsoka. Season 2 is the twilight of The Apprentice with Maul coming back. That final 2 episodes of Rebels might be the best arc of the entire show. So Season 2, without a doubt, is in this A tier. You could maybe even argue that it is S tier. It's better than than Book of Boba Fett for sure. You could make the argument it's better than Andor Season 1, but I'm going to put it underneath for now. Okay, Season 3 of Rebels. This is sort of the blind Kanan Jarrus, Thrawn's introduction. It's the whole Maul stuff. Is Twin Sons in this? Is Twin Sons in Season 3 or 4? Is Twin Sons in season... Is Maul's death in Season 3 or 4, chat? Do we know? I completely forget what season it is. It is in Season 3? No, 4? Is it Season 3 or 4? It's 3. Okay, then yeah, it's S tier. Not only is the rest of the season great, but if Twin Sons is in it, it's S tier. All right. So Season 4, I'll save you some time. Right there. Season 4 is, from start to finish, the best season. 0 filler. And it's World Between Worlds. It's Kanan Jarrus' death. It's the grand finale of the Purgle coming in and hopping into hyperspace. It's the Loth Wolves. It's all the, Ahsoka coming back type stuff. It's the best season by far. And it's up there with, you're talking 2 of the greatest seasons of television ever. Star Wars Resistance. I'll save you some time. Star Wars Resistance is going in... How nice are we feeling today, chat? It's one of these 2 right here. I'll make you... I think the last time we made this list, though, I hadn't seen Resistance. And now I've seen it. I've seen it. My problem with Resistance, I'm going to put it in D tier. And here's why. It could have been what the Clone Wars was for the sequels, but it wasn't. Yes, Kylo Ren is in like 1 episode. Poe Dameron is in like 3 episodes. But it could have been what the Clone Wars was for the sequels, and it just wasn't. So if you like a little fun side adventure with brand new characters, go for it. It's fun. It's not like I didn't turn it off because I hated it so much, but I just wish it connected more. I wish it had more of a meaning to it, but it doesn't. Next up is Tales of the Jedi. Again, I'll save some time on this one. It's S tier 100%, but where in S tier is the question? This is tough. I'm going to put it down here just because of how short it is. I know it tells an incredible story in just 6 episodes for Ahsoka and Count Dooku. Oh, that's really tough. It's S tier. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's S tier. But I'm going to keep it there for now. Tales of the Jedi is the best of the Jedi series, or Tales, series so far. Next up, we got Visions. It looks like Visions Season 1. Visions Season 1, I think, is my personal favorite. but even that doesn't get it very far. I'm going to put Visions Season 1 and Season 2 into that C tier. I'm not a Visions fan. I know I've talked about this before. I'm not going to crap on it for any reason. There's episodes that are really, really good. I love Me the Ronin. I love Me the Ninth Jedi. And the one with the old man, too. I'm blanking on the name of that one. There's some really great ones. But just with the good ones comes the bad. And there's just as many bad. So I'm not the biggest fan. I also really like things that, connect to the canon of Star Wars. I do like legend stories, some legend stories, I should say. But I like having things that, connect. I'm not going to crap on Visions all day long. I don't want to do that. That's not why we're here. So it's C tier for me. I know a lot of you guys really enjoy Visions quite a bit, but for me, it's that. All right, Tales of the Empire. Empire is my least favorite Tales story. It's covering Morgan Elsbeth and Barriss Offee. Two, I guess, side characters. But it's got the whole massacre on Dathomir from Morgan Elsbeth's perspective, where General Grievous is made to look so scary and badass. It's still got Grand Admiral Thrawn in there explaining the events of Ahsoka Season 1 or how we got there for Ahsoka Season 1. And you even get the Barriss Offee stuff, which is seeing the inside of the Inquisitors and how that whole thing works, because it's all sort of former Jedi who become Inquisitors. And then her story ending as a healer and she actually redeems herself is really cool. I'm putting it in B tier. You could make the argument that it's better than a few of these things, but I'm going to just put it at the bottom here to save some time. All right, now let's talk Clone Wars. We're going to split Clone Wars into two different things. One is the first 6 seasons. So we're talking Clone Wars Season 1 through 6 right now. That means the great arcs of 5s, the Umbara arc, the Maul stuff in Season 4 and 5. This is Ahsoka leaving the Jedi Order. This is all of it. But it also comes with the random side droid arcs. It also comes with the filler episodes and the fun little side arcs that, don't really have much to do with anything. Where would we put the first 6 seasons of the Clone Wars? It's definitely better than Tales of the Empire. Definitely better than that. Definitely better than that. There's, of course, the Mortis God arc as well. There's some arcs in the Clone Wars that are better than Kenobi and Mando. Season 3. So it's got to be better than both of those. It's better than the Bad Batch Season 2. So we're up here. Huh. This is tough. Because it's 6 seasons versus 1. It's very hard to place this. I'm going to put it up here for now just because it is 6 seasons. But we're putting it there for now. Okay. Clone Wars Season 7. Again, we'll save some time. It's going up in the S tier. It's going to go over Tales. It's going to go over Rebels Season 3. The Siege of Mandalore arc is the best arc of the Clone Wars. It's just, it just is. But it also comes with the Clone Force 99 introduction in the beginning. The big gap in the middle is the Martinez sisters. I don't hate that arc, but it is a very much Clone Wars filler arc. So that's where it's going. Next up, we got Skeleton Crew. Probably the most underrated on this list. Maybe it's because it came out right after The Acolyte. Maybe it's for many different reasons. I don't know. But Skeleton Crew is extremely underrated. It needs a Season 2 desperately. It's just so much fun. And what it could set up in the future is great as well. It's better than all these things. I'm going to put it below Kenobi. I think the finale of Kenobi is better than anything in Skeleton Crew, but it's still really, really good, and I'm putting it right there. I'm putting it right there. Okay. The Acolyte. Oh, here we go. Where would you put The Acolyte, Jet? Where would you put The Acolyte? What are we at? Where are we at? Now, I know this is probably going to be the most, yeah. Let's talk The Acolyte really, really quickly. Really quickly. This is crazy. You got some F tiers, some D tiers, some A tiers, B tiers. We're all over the place. So I'm a big fan of the Acolyte. I know. I'm a big fan of the Acolyte. And I guess I'm happy to say it. When I go back to watch a Star Wars show or anything, if I just have a free hour and I want to watch some Star Wars, I am 100% going to, one of the things I will throw on is going to be episode 5 of The Acolyte. That lightsaber duel in the forest, Chimere, the Stranger as a character is top tier. The entire arc of Soul making the mistake and then him eventually being choked out by his former apprentice who fell to the dark side, Osha, who's been manipulated by the Stranger, and then having Plagueis in the cave. And I could talk about the Acolyte all day long, but I'll save you the trouble because I know a lot of you guys are Acolyte haters. For my list, and again, you can make your own, for my list, the Acolyte is going all the way up here. It's better than Skeleton Crew. As a show, as a whole, it's better than Kenobi, and it's better than The Mandalorian Season 3. It's right there. You could make the argument. Actually, no, I'm not even going to make the argument. It's better than this. It's better than The Bad Batch. All right, so it's going right there. I like the Book of Boba Fett a little bit better. It is that good. For me personally. Calm down, chat. This is my personal opinion. You can make your own list after. Okay. Now we're getting into last year's projects. Andor Season 2 and Tales of the Underworld. And then we get to Maul, of course. So Andor Season 2, again, let's save some time here. It's up in this high tier of S's. Now, I'm sure many of you will put it up here. I know a lot of you guys really, really love Andor Season 2, and I do too. That last 5 episodes is just peak beyond belief. You might call me crazy. I know you guys are like, Mike, you love Ahsoka too much. I don't know what's wrong with you, but it's here. On some days, it may be here, depending on how I feel. But for now, how I'm feeling today, again, this list probably changes on the daily, on the hourly, actually. But for now, how I'm feeling is Andor right below Ahsoka. And I think Ahsoka Season 2 is going to prove my point even more. But yeah, okay. Tales of the Underworld. I do like Tales of the Underworld a lot more than Tales of the Empire. Cad Bane is my favorite bounty hunter of all time. But it was actually surprisingly the Asajj Ventress arc that made me like this so much more. Tales is definitely better than the Bad Batch there. I think there's a good spot for it. Tales is right there. Yeah. That's a good spot. All right, now let's talk about the reason we're all here today. Maul Shadow Lord. Where would you put Maul Shadow Lord? Is it one of the greatest projects of all time? Single seasons, let's not forget. We're talking just single seasons of Star Wars content. We're not talking both seasons of Andor. We're not talking all 7 seasons of the Clone Wars, all 4 seasons of Rebels. We're talking single seasons. Where would you put Maul Shadow Lord? Look at the chat right now. Are you kidding me? That's a lot of S's. That's a lot of S's. And I could not agree with you more. I picked this one because the poster is so cool and I love it. But it's in the S tier. Now the question is, where does it go? It's better than Tales of the Jedi. It's better than Rebels Season 3. It's better than Clone Wars Season 7. I mean, maybe you take the Martinez sister arc out and replace it with an arc as good as Siege of Mandalore, then we'll have a different conversation, but that's not the case. It's better than Season 7 of The Mandalorian. It's better than Mando Season 1. It is. This is the first season of Maul Shadow Lord, and it's that good. Maul versus Vader is going to go down as one of the greatest lightsaber duels in all of Star Wars. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's better than The Bad Batch Season 3. Now, we've come across, right now, our highest rated animated season of Star Wars. Is Maul Shadow Lord Season 1 better than Rebels Season 4? What do we think, Chet? Rebels Season 4, with the World Between Worlds, with Kanan Jarrus's iconic sacrifice, with the Purgle coming in at the end, with Grand Admiral Thrawn being the big blue meanie, with Palpatine. Is it better than that? I'm seeing a lot of yeses. Maybe it's recency bias. Maybe I'm crazy. Kanan Jarrus' death. Okay, yeah. I mean, Brandon Lawson, as much as I love the character, you haven't spent 4 seasons with him. Rook cast, as much as I love her character, you haven't spent all this time getting to know him, and he's not a Jedi master and a father figure to all of us. So their deaths aren't as meaningful as Kanan. But I think it's better. I think it's better. All right, now we got to get into really, really tough conversations here. Is it better than any of these three? Is it better than Ahsoka Season 1, Mando Season 2, or Andor Season 2? I think we got to stop here. I think we must stop. I think that's where it's got to go. Oh, it's so tough. It's so tough. It's the perfect 10-episode arc. That's the thing. Like, Season 2 of Mando still has filler. The first half of Andor Season 2 is all a setup for the second half. That's not a bad thing, but it does bring the season, I guess, lower. When you look at Maul, it is the perfect runway. It's the perfect fall of Devon Zara to the dark side. It's the perfect build-up to that final battle of Maul versus Vader in the finale. But again, even if that fight didn't happen this season, would be still talked about as one of the best. I think it's perfect right where it is. You're talking about, in my personal opinion, a top 4 season of Star Wars television ever. Not animated, ever. And the best animated Star Wars season of all time. This is crazy. This is crazy. So that's my list. That is 100% my list, and I'm sticking to it. Again, this could change tomorrow. Probably not drastically, but, it would change here and there. Some things go higher than others. Book of Boba Fett is very much on the rise right now as I'm rewatching it and seeing how much better it is than I remember it being. But having said that, let me paint a picture for you here, Chet. Other than this one project right here, Clone Wars Season 1 through 6, other than this one project, this guy right here, every single thing on this list is quote-unquote Disney Star Wars. The company that killed Star Wars.
Incorrect.
You're talking peak on 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 peak. You're talking some of the greatest Star Wars content to ever exist. We have gotten all within the last decade. This came out 3 years ago, last year, 5 years ago, six years ago, this year, 10 years ago, I guess. No, 8 years ago, 2 years ago, 6 years ago, 6 years ago, maybe 9 years ago. I don't know, 5 years ago, 4 years ago. This is the only one outlier. This is 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, whatever it is. You get my point. All of this content came out within the last decade. We are truly just living it up here as Star Wars fans. We are truly just having the time of our lives watching peak Star Wars content. And these two, Andor Season 2 and and Maul Shadow Lord, these two projects came out within the last year. They came out within the last year. 2 of the greatest single seasons of Star Wars ever. My goodness. What a great time to be a Star Wars fan. But there you have it. Maul Shadow Lord, in my personal opinion, is the best single season of Star Wars animation of all time. And it makes me think, what's Season 2 going to be? Again, take it with a giant grain of salt. I am a huge Maul fan. He's my 3rd favorite character of all time. So I was going into this with very high expectations. And the fact that he fights Anakin / Darth Vader, my 1st favorite character of all time, it warmed my little fanboy heart. So Your list may differ. I will send that link to this list, to this tier list thing in the Discord. So if you're not yet in that Discord, go join it immediately. But let's talk about this for a second. I saw this article today and it kind of, kind of got me thinking. Despite a major cameo in Maul's finale, fans are disappointed by the lack of Star Wars Day announcements. Did Star Wars even do anything for May the 4th? What do we think about this? Keep in mind, we're about to go watch a Mando trailer that dropped yesterday, or maybe today. I forget. A Mando trailer that dropped for Star Wars Day. We also got the finale of what I just dubbed the greatest animated Star Wars season of all time on Star Wars Day. Are we disappointed with May the 4th and the lack of announcements for May the 4th? What do we think? Who are the other three? Well, my top 3 Star Wars characters of all time in order are Vader slash Anakin, Ahsoka at 2, and Maul at 3. So when you hear that list and then you look at my tier list, it's not that surprising. Anakin and Ahsoka being my top 2. Ahsoka's at 1, obviously. Andor, I love Luthen. He's probably in my top 10. But other than that, I mean, Andor's just peak. Din Djarin and Grogu are great. Ahsoka's in that as well. Luke Skywalker's in that. Book of Boba Fett's in that. And then Maul is my 3rd favorite character of all time. Ezra's in my top 10. And then I just love the Ghost Crew anyway. Okay, but that's besides the point. Okay. Did we think there weren't enough announcements yesterday? Because we were thinking maybe we'll get a Ahsoka teaser trailer. Maybe we'll get a Starfighter teaser trailer. For me personally, here was my day yesterday. Here was my day. So yesterday, we had the whole debacle that was Lucasfilm told us that the final episodes of Maul would come out at midnight, and they didn't. Crazy. So we had that happen, and then we had to schedule a new live stream and do the watch party at 3 a.m. So then I was up till, 11 a.m. doing the breakdown, and we did the breakdown video. So then I had to sleep at some point, I had 0 sleep. So I went to sleep from probably noon to like 3-ish. So, a nice 3-hour sleep. And because I had to make some shorts and whatever, and then watch some Star Wars, of course, because me and Samantha went to the first 25 minutes special event for The Mandalorian and Grogu. And that was awesome. So my Star Wars day in particular, I started the day off by watching peak Star Wars, watched The Mandalorian and Grogu in theaters for the first 25 minutes, and then ended my day watching some Book of Boba Fett. So I had a pretty great Star Wars day. I get not getting an Ahsoka Season 2 trailer kind of bummed people out. But what do we think? Did we miss out on something? Okay. And when will we get this Ahsoka Season 2 trailer? Speaking of Ahsoka Season 2, let's get into this leak, shall we? Let's talk about it. So, coming from Morai the Messenger, again, probably our best source on Ahsoka Season 2 stuff thus far, take a look at this. Morai exclusive. As close to a spoiler as I'll get, so you've been warned. I know that at least 3 different temples, or temple-like locations, that our heroes will explore in Ahsoka Season 2. Notice how I say heroes and not just Ahsoka and Sabine. What does that mean? Baylan Skoll and Shin Hati turning into heroes, ? But we'll get to that in a second. There's a new temple that we haven't seen in any art or public images, which is made of a dark gray / black stone with gold stripes set in across, moving up the building like the rungs of a ladder. Interesting. The color and construction do look like the aesthetic of the Great Mother's Fortress from Season 1, but would only be speculating if I said which planet it was on. So she doesn't even know, this person doesn't even know if it's on Peridia. It's got to be on Peridia. Actually, it could be in a different realm, but again, we'll get to that. So spoilers. Possible spoilers. This is still a leak. Don't take this as fact. Okay. Running across its front towards the entryway is a stone engraving showing a conflict where the Night Sisters of old, an ancient kaiju machines, are present. So you're talking about the gigantic, I'll show you from the concept art images that we got, these huge droid-like things. Hang on. Yeah, these things. So when it says mechanical kaiju, this is what we're talking about. These giant creatures of some sort. So this temple shows a conflict of the Night Sisters of old and these ancient kaiju machines. In the middle of the engraving, perhaps a separate story, stands three figures. Three figures. Whose presence and purpose remain unknown. This may even be depicting the construction or destruction, of Peridia, for all I know, which eventually succumbs to planetary war, according to Dave Filoni. Off to the side, a few pieces of stone have crumbled to the ground, but it's all pretty much intact, including two tall statues that guard the entrance, swords in their grasp. More to come. So, I love talking Ahsoka Season 2. So, if you thought Ahsoka Season 1 was big, introducing a new galaxy, all that great stuff, if you thought that was big, just you wait. Just you wait. We are getting, hopefully, Mortis gods. We are getting giant mechanical kaiju droids in whatever Baylan Skoll is looking for. Whether it be Abeloth, whether it be something else, some unknown power that not only Thrawn was scared of and running from in Season 1, but has been calling out to Baylan Skoll specifically to come free it. So let's start talking crazy here for a second. What do we think this temple is? What do we think this temple is, Chet? It's the same door we've seen Ahsoka in front of? No. That's what's even crazier. So what Holly is speaking of is this concept art image that we have of Ahsoka. Hang on, I got it right here. Hang on, Chet, I got it right here. Maybe I don't. Where is it? Hang on. Ahsoka standing in front of a door. Where is this? Hello? I guess I don't have this image. I thought I saved all my... Oh. Okay, I guess this isn't the image I was talking about, but this is a door. This is a door. So is it this? I don't think so. Because the leak specifically said, because this is a concept art image from Ahsoka Season 2. The leak specifically says there's a new temple that we haven't seen in any art or public images. So we have not seen it yet. So there's going to be 3 temples in this show. I think one of them is going to be a temple on Dathomir, probably where Thrawn and his headquarters are going to be. So that'll be one temple in a different galaxy. And I think there'll be 2 on Peridia. Or 2. Let me explain. Okay. So one will be physically on Peridia. One will be physically on the planet. However, just like in the Clone Wars when Anakin, Ahsoka, and Obi-Wan go to Mortis and their bodies are transported outside of the physical realm to this unknown place called Mortis, I think that's where our 3rd temple is coming from. That's where this temple that's being described is going to be, in this unknown realm outside of the living realm, outside of the physical realm in Star Wars. So it's not the world between worlds per se, but it is sort of a world inside of the Force itself, just like Mortis was in the Clone Wars Mortis arc. So I think you're going to get 3 temples, one on Peridia, one on Dathomir, and one outside of the physical realm of Star Wars. So if you thought Ahsoka Season 1 was pushing the boundaries of what Star Wars can do, Season 2 is going to go even further. And who is in that, new realm is most likely Abeloth. Most likely her imprisoned there, which makes things oh so complicated. Yeah. Because if she's imprisoned there by the Mortis gods, and now the Mortis gods are all dead thanks to Ahsoka, Anakin, and Obi-Wan, now they're all dead, then there's nobody there to protect them. There's nobody there to protect the galaxy from Abeloth's reign. Think of it like... Oh, this is perfect. Think of it like Thor. Give me a 1 into the chat if you've seen Thor Ragnarok. Chat, have you seen Thor Ragnarok? Give me a 1 into the chat if you've seen Thor Ragnarok. Wasn't Yavin Base an old temple of some kind? Yes, Yavin Base was an old temple for sure. So in Thor Ragnarok, Thor's dad dies. Odin, spoiler alert. He dies sort of, of his own free will. It's time, I guess. He just vanishes. And in doing so, he lets free Hela, Thor and Loki's sister. So that's sort of how I see Abeloth and the Mortis gods. The Mortis gods have been keeping Abeloth a prisoner for tens of thousands of years. But now Mortis gods are dead. So Abeloth has the ability now to call out to a character like Balin Skull and have him come free her. Just like Hela is freed. So that's sort of the comparison I make to it. Yeah. 3 temples, 3 keys to Abeloth's prison? I don't think so. I don't think all three temples will be on Peridia. But it also, this depiction of Night Sisters of old and ancient Kujet machines being present on the temple itself, pretty crazy. Like in the first season of Ahsoka, we got Praise Kujet, the Zepho leader, that was inscribed on the Great Mother's Fortress, as it says right here. The Great Mother's Fortress from season 1 had the engravings of Kujet, the Zepho leader. And that idea that we could be getting more of the Zepho in Ahsoka season 2 is so intriguing to me. Because Zepho right now only exist in the Jedi games. They only exist in Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor. So if you're going to expand on those characters, you already have the Night Sisters coming from this different galaxy. If you're going to expand on that with the Zepho as well, it brings me back to what I was talking about with Maul Shadow Lord, with the idea that when we see ruins in Star Wars, when we see something ancient in Star Wars, you don't look at it now like, oh, cool, ancient ruins. You look at it now like we could be getting a backstory to that where this location is utilized. Like in Ahsoka Season 2, we could get a flashback to how Peridia fell. Because at one point, it was this thriving kingdom of Night Sisters, and now they're all dead. Some of them fled to a different galaxy, but they've all been destroyed. What destroyed them? Well, that's what's going to have to be explained. Yeah. Do you think that Abeloth was originally the presence that was calling out to Palpatine in the Aftermath trilogy? Especially now with comics and comics and movies have dismissed other possibilities. Interesting. I always loved the idea, and this comes from Legends, but the idea that Palpatine's reason for taking over the galaxy, making the Death Stars, making sure that the Empire spans across the entire galaxy, was so that when he knew of a threat coming. And in Legends, it's different. You got the Yuzan Vong and all that. But the idea that Palpatine, obviously still evil, still very evil, but the idea that Palpatine was waiting for something. Palpatine kept creating Death Stars, kept creating an army because he knew that he would need it for something that was coming. He knew that he needed it for someone or something that was coming, like an Abeloth or a Yuzan Vong. I like that idea a lot. wasn't Zepho one of the Marx brothers? I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. So it might not be the whole purpose. Yeah, it might not be the whole purpose why Palpatine takes over the galaxy, but it would be a cool add-on if he knew that some bigger threat was coming. It's like Thrawn right now. Thrawn coming in as the heir to the Empire, he is running from whatever was on Peridia, running for his life from whatever is on Peridia, and he knows about the Grisk. He knows that the Grisk exist and that they are a threat to the galaxy. He's been trying to warn Palpatine and Vader about it for years. So he could be the boy who cried wolf, pretty much, where he's going to try to take over the galaxy, and when the New Republic goes, why are you trying to take over the galaxy? He's going to go, I'm trying to save you guys. I'm trying to be your savior, because I know that there are two massive threats, one in the unknown regions and one in a different galaxy, that are coming to take over your world, or your worlds. Because the Grisk are a big threat, and so is Abeloth. And Thrawn knows about both of them. Maybe not Abeloth, but he knows of some thing on Peridia. So Thrawn might be the boy who cried wolf, and the New Republic doesn't listen. And then the First Order rises to power, and then we get this and that in the whole sequel trilogy. But then beyond the sequel trilogy, we could get the Grisk. We could get Abeloth. We could be setting up a villain, or multiple villains, for the future of Star Wars beyond the sequel trilogy here in Ahsoka Season 2. I can't wait for Ahsoka Season 2. I think it'll be as peak as Maul was. I agree with you, which is crazy to say because we got Andor Season 2 last year, Maul this year, and Ahsoka Season 2. Here's the idea. We were talking about the possibility that 2026 could be the greatest year for Star Wars content ever. We're off to a great start. We are off to a fantastic start. Maul Shadow Lord is peak. The Mandalorian and Grogu, I've seen the first 25 minutes. It's incredible. Now, granted, I can't tell you it's a 10 out of 10 because I only saw the first 25 minutes. So I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. It is setting up to be a great movie, but I have not seen the entire movie. But if it is as good as I hope it to be, and then Ahsoka Season 2 is as good as these leaks are making it out to be, then yeah, we're talking about the greatest year ever for Star Wars fans. And yes, the 9th Jedi series is coming too. I'm not the biggest Visions fan, so I don't really talk about it a lot, but yes, that is also coming this year. Yeah. Is Abeloth Legends or canon? Great question, actually. Right now, she's Legends. Right now. She only exists in the EU. That's it. However, that may change this year. That may change. So this leak is absolutely insane, depicting a temple that we've never seen before in any concept art images or public images. And it's got these engravings of Night Sisters of old in a conflict with these giant Kujet machines, these droids. And in the middle of the engraving is perhaps a separate story where 3 figures stand. 3 figures, you got to start thinking Mortis gods. The Mortis god statues were at the end of Season 1, and we might be getting some Mortis god flashbacks, which would be great. Get Ewan McGregor in the Clone Wars armor, get Ahsoka, of course, back, Ariana Greenblatt back as young Ahsoka, and Hayden Christensen. Hayden Christensen will be in this series. We already know that for a fact. But will he be a Force ghost? Will he be, that's the question. I don't know, man. This all is pretty crazy. And then, yes, this could be depicting the destruction of Peridia, for all I know, which eventually succumbs to planetary war, according to Dave Filoni. So will we see that planetary war? That's the question. Ahsoka Season 2 has got me so hyped. Mortis gods, new galaxy. Well, that's one. Even crazier is all of that stuff with possibly getting Abeloth, possibly getting the Mortis gods. These gigantic Kujet droids. Or sorry, Kujet. Kanju droids. The idea that is only one half of the story. The idea that there's a whole nother half of the story, which is Thrawn as the heir to the Empire, trying to take over the entire galaxy. A war in our Star Wars, as Dave Filoni told us. where Admiral Akbar and Hera Syndulla are fighting against the big blue meanie.
This is where the fun begins.
There is quite literally no project that could even come close right now to how hype I am for Ahsoka Season 2. Not even close. I am very excited for the Mandalorian and Grogu. But there's levels to this thing. I'm excited for Starfighter. But not even close to Ahsoka Season 2. Not even close. You're talking about my favorite single season of Star Wars ever getting a second season that I think could very well be better than the first season. Could Abeloth be the canon reason that the Yuzan Vong flee their galaxy? Yes. Yes, and that would be incredible. Think about it this way. If Abeloth gets freed, we only know of one planet in this other galaxy, and that is Peridia. There's a whole nother galaxy over there. There's more planets, and it's possible that the Yuzan Vong, or some other threat like the Yuzan Vong, could exist in that galaxy. And if Abeloth is let free, then absolutely, the Yuzan Vong could be pushed to our galaxy because of Abeloth, and it will just be post-sequels, threat after threat after threat after threat. Grisk, Vong, Abeloth. Insanity. Insanity. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, but that's the Ahsoka Season 2 leaks. They're insane. Cooper Franklin with a very generous $5 holla says, I just hope with so much going on that the pacing is good and the episodes are long. Also, do you think that we will be getting more stories in the Second Galaxy after Season 2? I hope so. To answer that last part, I hope so. And yeah, the pacing in these episodes, I don't know how they're going to do it. We just talked about so much insanity happening in that second season. I don't know how that's going to be 8 episodes. I think the majority of the season is going to focus on Ahsoka and Sabine, focus on the two of them and Hu Yang, of course, on Peridia and what's happening there. Because the war in our Star Wars, as great as it's going to be, is still just a setup. It's a setup for Dave Filoni's movie. Because that Heir to the Empire stuff, they're going to be saving that for the big screen. The Mandalorian and Grogu is going to set up that next movie. And Ahsoka Season 2 is also going to set up that next movie. So I think the majority of Ahsoka Season 2 will be on Peridia. Yeah. Oh, we're getting plenty of Balen Skull. Yeah, plenty of Balen Skull. There's a reason that they recasted him. Well, obviously there's a couple reasons they recast him, but they could have gotten away with, because they could have gotten away with killing the character off screen. They could have gotten away with writing the character off in some sort of way. But they recasted him because they wanted, or they knew that they were going to have a lot more story to be told with him. Yeah. We'll put it that way. Okay. Now let's talk about the Mandalorian and Grogu. Shall we? Let's talk about this trailer that just dropped 5 hours ago. Actually, before we even watch it, I want to put up a poll. Let's put up a poll. By the way, check out this poll. We have the most votes on this poll than we've had on a poll in forever. All right. Do you think Din Djarin dies in The Mandalorian and Grogu? Yes or no? Are we doing call-ins today, Mike? Yes, we will do call-ins right after we do all this Mando stuff, okay? So we'll do it after. Do you think Din Djarin dies in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie? Yes or no? And you may want to hold your vote. You may want to hold your vote until you watch this trailer. You might want to hold off a second. Okay. First things first. 97% of you liked or loved that Maul finale. 3% said meh, and 0% hated it. You got to love that. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Just out of curiosity. Yeah. So sadly today, we were supposed to have a guest today, Clan Brandalorian. Shout out to Clan Brandalorian. If you're not subscribed to Brandon, go check him out. The link to his channel is in the description of this video. We just couldn't figure it out. I don't know what's going on with the technology right now. Technology sucks. We'll put it that way. But shout out to Clan Brandalorian. Go subscribe to him. We're going to get him on soon. We tried today, but it didn't work. So we'll get him on soon. But let's watch this trailer. The Typhoonian says Din Djarin dies, but he sends Grogu back to Luke Skywalker. I don't think that is how this is going to go. But watch this. Watch this. It's only 35 seconds.
The remains of the Empire want another war, and a new power is coming.
What's my mission?
Something you may not come back from.
I've collected the most deadly creatures from across the galaxy. The Mandalorian will die.
I won't always be around to protect you.
There comes a time where we all have to say goodbye.
Get out of there, Mando.
This is the way.
Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu. Rated P.
So a couple things going on here. A couple things. One, Din Djarin's death is 100% being teased. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But the other thing is the importance of this movie. Now, so many people are like, why would I go see this movie if it's just another spin-off of Mandalorian? If it's just another side episode, just a mission of the week type thing. They've really been ramping up in the marketing, specifically over the last 2 weeks, how important this movie actually is. How important this one mission actually is. And in this trailer, for the first time ever, has hinted towards either Palpatine in his return, which we know happens, somehow Palpatine returns, or Grand Admiral Thrawn. And I'm actually interested to see who you guys think it is in reference to here. But what Sigourney Weaver's character is telling us here is insane.
The remains of the Empire want another war, and a new power is coming.
First of all, check out Stinky the Hut right there. Stinky the Hut right there behind Din Djarin, so we know that becomes a friendship. She's saying that the remnants of the Empire want a war. These people in the Outer Rim know about this. They know that the Empire is still around, but the core worlds just refuse to believe it. Now, to that point, she says this.
And a new power is coming.
A new power is coming. Is that in reference to the First Order? Is that in reference to Grand Admiral Thrawn? Does she know something we don't know? Do we know something? Does she know something we don't know? Could she be talking about the Shadow Council? Possibly. Continuing.
What's my mission?
Something you may not come back from.
What's my mission? Something you may not come back from. Now, having seen the first 25 minutes, this dialogue was not there. Maybe it's later on in the movie, but it wasn't there. It wasn't there. So the mission he's sent on, it's not this. Something crazy, some big old twist or turn is happening. The first 25 minutes, without spoiling any of it, is very much a continuation of The Mandalorian. You're just waiting for the other hat to drop, the other cat to drop. You're just waiting for the twist. You're waiting for it. Something to go wrong because this is going to become so much bigger. Whether it's in reference to Thrawn, the First Order, Project Necromancer, something is going to happen that makes this mission so much bigger than anything else. His greatest mission, again, we've seen him do plenty of insane things. You know, missions with Bo-Katan, missions with Boba Fett, and reclaiming Mandalore, and this is bigger than that. This is bigger.
Collected the most deadly creatures.
All right, now we got our boy Coin, whatever his name is. Lord Janu. He's collected the biggest collection or greatest collection of creatures in the galaxy.
The most deadly creatures from across
Deadly creatures, sorry.
the galaxy. And the Mandalorian will die.
The Mandalorian will die. And here he is fighting Rod of the Hutt. But I think those two are going to become best friends. I don't know how, but it'll be cool. Either way, he's collected the deadliest creatures across the galaxy, and you see all those creatures, the chessboard pieces right here.
Deadly creatures from across the galaxy. And the Mandalorian will die.
I won't always be around to protect you.
I won't always be around to protect you, as we see what looks to be a dead body on the ground, Din Djarin's dead body.
There comes a time where we all have to say goodbye.
Comes a time where we all have to say goodbye. Again, Din Djarin's gonna die. And we got a great look at our weird old lizard dude in the rocking chair. Still don't know what this guy is all about. Is that a dead Ewok? Never mind. I don't know what that is. I don't know. Initially, when I said Din Djarin's going to die, I didn't have much to back it. Okay? And then when the trailer started teasing that maybe he's going to die, I was like, okay, maybe he's not going to die, because they're teasing it like you want to believe that he is, and then he's not. Now I think he might actually die. Now I actually think he might die. And it comes off the backs of watching Maul Shadow Lord yesterday, because never in a million years did I think that Rook Cast and Brander Lawson were going to die in that finale, and yet here we are. So maybe I'm a little, scarred from what I just witnessed yesterday, but they're clearly teasing that he's supposed to die in this movie. And this guy's saying there's a time where you have to say goodbye. And then this.
Say goodbye.
Get out of there, Mando.
Get out of there, Mando, says Sigourney Weaver.
This is the
This is the way.
way.
As he is crashing. I don't think this isn't the Razor Crest. At least the cockpit does not look like the Razor Crest, so I don't know what this is. But he's crashing something.
Get out of there, Mando.
So Sigourney Weaver has a way bigger role than I thought. I thought she'd only be like one or two scenes. She's in an X-Wing in a big old battle, so she's going to have a way bigger role than I thought.
This is the way.
Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu. Rated PG-13.
Let's watch it one more time.
The remains of the Empire want another war, and a new power is coming.
What's my mission?
Something you may not come back from.
I've collected the most deadly creatures from across the galaxy. And the Mandalorian will die.
I won't always be around to protect you.
There comes a time where we all have to say goodbye.
Get out of there, Mando.
This is the way.
Star Wars, The Mandalorian and Grogu. Rated PG-13.
I think he's gone. I actually truly believe that Din Djarin might die in this movie. Him saying, I won't always be there to protect you. The old dude in a rocking chair saying,
Comes a time where we all have to say goodbye.
It comes a time where we all have to say goodbye, and then the crashing scene at the very end. I wonder what Zeb's looking at here, because he looks pretty concerned. Zeb looks incredible. Watching the first 25 minutes yesterday, there is nothing like watching Star Wars on the big screen, but seeing just the visuals, Zeb looks incredible. Everything, they've upped the ante. Like, the show looks great. Don't get me wrong. The show looks great on Disney Plus. They have gone all out for this movie. It's insane. But
I'll have to say goodbye.
Get out of there, Mando.
This is the way.
so crazy. And look at this great shot of Sigourney Weaver. Well, this looks like probably this might be the ship that he's flying. Do we know what the cockpit of this is, or what this could be, I guess?
Get out of there, Mando.
It's so awesome. It's so awesome. How many days do we got? Could we just like, go into cryo sleep for the next whatever it is, 16 days? What is it? Crazy. So good. So good. Great shot. What's a great shot? This? Are you trolling us? This is not Sigourney Weaver in an X-wing costume in the I'm blanking on the word right now. What is the cockpit? There we go. The cockpit of an X-wing is not what? What are you saying? How is this not a great shot?
This is the way.
Star
I don't know, Chet. Do we think he's gonna die? She's having a seizure, bro? What are you saying?
Where we all have to say goodbye.
Get out of there, Mando.
She's saying Mando.
Mando.
What is your problem? Okay. But we do have a bunch of new scenes in this trailer as well.
The
X-wing battle to start.
remains of the Empire want another war. And
Embo capturing Din Djarin. I don't know how this is going to go down. I really don't. I don't know what's going to happen here. You're going to get an epic fight between Embo and Din. I'll tell you that right now. I mean, Din's not going to end up in a net like this unless he goes down without a fight. Getting to see Embo in live action is going to be awesome.
a new power is coming.
A new power is coming. I wonder if she knows. Does she know, Chet? Does she know? You got to assume now that Ezra Bridger is back in the galaxy that they know about Thrawn. Because he came back. That should be enough, you know? That should be plenty of evidence to suggest that Thrawn could still be alive and should be back. So if Ezra knows, that means Hera Syndulla knows. And if Hera Syndulla knows, then a lot of people are going to know. A lot. And again, we're getting from Din Djarin fighting against Stinky the Hutt in a gladiator fight to the two of them working together. Do you think Din winds up in a cryogenically freeze at the end of this movie, like carbonite, or like a Dagon from the Jedi Survivor game? Either way, I'm going to say no. No. In regards to Din's potential death, I'm hoping for a happy Disney ending and he doesn't die. I'm hoping that this is all just a tease. Well, I hope that for you too. I hope that for you too. She's too old to be an X-Wing pilot. That's the bottom line. I didn't realize there was age restrictions on X-Wing pilots. It's crazy. You're just digging yourself a bigger hole, buddy. Either way, I think Din Djarin's death is being teased quite a bit, and it's not something that would be premature. You got to think about what that would do for Grogu's character, and you got to think that you've already had 3 seasons with this character. We've spent so much time with the character of Din Djarin. It's not like he would be cut short. We have more screen time with Din than probably 98% of Star Wars characters. Either way, a lot of this movie is going to be a setup for Ahsoka Season 2. Which, yes, it's going to be its own self-contained story, but also being setting up as well. Why would he be on Exegol? Who? Oh, Din on Exegol? No. Nobody's going to Exegol in this movie. Yeah. Okay. But that's the new Mando trailer. Absolutely. Actually, yeah, let's open up the stage. All right, we're going to do call-ins for the last time for Maul Shadow Lord. But we're going to do call-ins. So if you're not yet in the Discord, there's a link in the description below to a Discord called The People Who Love Star Wars. Go join it immediately. And in there, you can join the call-in stage, raise your hand, and I will bring you on in to talk some Maul Shadow Lord, to talk some Ahsoka Season 2, to talk some Mandalorian and Grogu. And we'll just, have some fun there. So the call-in stage is now open. Go check that out. Just looking at the comment section of this too on YouTube of that trailer we just watched. Someone said he ain't dying. Someone said at 6 seconds, anybody notice Rada just chilling in the background? Jon Favreau is a great director. They better not kill Mando. Please don't kill Mando. Yeah. So people are, not wanting Din Djarin to die, but stranger things have happened. Stranger things just happened 24 hours ago in Maul Shadow Lord. I mean, we got to see this. And we got to see him kill Rook Kast. Yeah. Mike, now that Maul is over, will we still be doing call-ins for like Mando and other stuff? Yes. We'll still be doing the call-ins probably every Saturday. I like doing them on Saturdays. It's a lot of fun. But we're going to do them today too, just because, because Maul Shadow Lord is over. And I want to know what you guys thought about it. So the call-in stage is open now. I'll keep an eye on it to see if any of you want to do a call-in. And then we'll go from there. And we'll obviously talk about other stuff too, like Ahsoka and Mando. But for sure, call-ins are not ending now. We'll definitely be doing more of those for sure. Who is calling? Funny.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah. Okay. While we wait, let's oh wait. Let me refresh this real quick. See if we got anything new going on here. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. Jon Favreau, Sigourney Weaver, and Pedro Pascal just arrived in Paris for the Mandalorian and Grogu fan event. Let's do this instead. Let's do this. Oh, yes. So this Dave Filoni surprised some guests at the Mandalorian and Grogu screening yesterday. And here's what he had to say about the movie and about Jon Favreau. Take a look at this. Or take a listen at this, I guess. Sure.
I've worked with Jon Favreau for a long time now on this particular character or characters. And Jon, the easiest thing I say is the force is very strong with him. He's been a good friend, a great collaborator, and he's made one heck of a ride for you guys to go on. I couldn't be more proud of him or the team that put this together. So I won't delay it any longer. Thank you guys for being such great fans. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for going on these adventures. It means a lot. We are working really hard at Lucasfilm to take you on more throughout our galaxy. Look forward to the future, but also look forward right now to your special screening of this piece of the Mandalorian Grogu. Thank you so much, guys, and may the Force be with you.
It still hasn't really clicked in my brain yet that he's now the president of Lucasfilm. He's still just sort of like the fanboy Dave Filoni that's just making Star Wars, but now he's in charge of the whole thing. It's crazy. But yes, he talks about all the stuff that Lucasfilm is working hard at to, make great Star Wars content. And that's pretty awesome. I wish Dave Filoni was at my theater. No, but it was great. Let's get Kyler on in here too. And while we do, can we get some good cups follow orders in the chat, please? Bumpa. All right, Kyler, let's get you on in here. Let's get you on in here, Kyler. Kyler, how we doing? Hello? Hello? Kyler, are you there? Kyler? Kyler, we cannot hear you. Psst. Kyler, we can't hear you. Kyler, we can't hear you. All right, Kyler, I'm gonna kick you out and try again. Try again. We're gonna get Ron in the meantime. All the way over from Star Wars Jedi Chat. Let's get Ron in here. Ron? Hello? Are call-ins not working today, Chat? Ron? Hello? Okay, Ron's out now. Let's try Kyler again. Kyler?
You hear me?
Hey, there we go.
Okay, good.
You guys are getting me concerned. I thought it was on my end. But how we doing, Kyler? How we doing?
Good.
What did you think of the Maul finale?
Incredible. Peak. I mean,
Incredible peak.
Just great.
Yeah.
Like, everything with Darth Vader and Maul and Devin, and like it was just peak. So peak.
It really, really was. Did you think that Vader was coming? Did you think Vader would be in there
Yeah,
like that?
I did. Yeah, I did. But I was literally like jumping in the air and running around the house when he when I heard the breathing and the fog at the end of
Yeah.
episode 9.
Yeah.
And that's crazy that Rook died. I did not expect that at all.
And Brander Lawson. I didn't see that one coming either.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think Brander Lawson's death was sadder than Dockie's death. Because we all knew Dockie was, dying, so
Yeah. I agree with that, I think. Dockie's death,
yeah.
it served its purpose, though, because Devin's fall was, like, perfect. And when she sees Dockie with the lightsaber through him, she loses it. Like, she wants to go actually kill Vader. It was insane.
Yeah, she had a demonic voice.
Yeah, her voice distorts, which was so awesome. I guess my question to you would be, do you think there's going to be a time jump in between seasons? Like, do you think season 2 is going to pick up a couple years from now and, like, maybe show us, because Maul lost everybody there. He lost everybody except for Devin. So we don't really need to see him go kill the Crimson Dawn leader. Like, that was implied. We don't need to see it. Do you think there'll be some sort of a time jump in between seasons?
Yes, I think there will be. I think so. This show, season 1, took place in 18 BBY. We know that. So I think season 2 will probably take place maybe 15 BBY, where it is 3 years later, and Maul is training Devin, and we get Kira in the Crimson Dawn, and the home base for Maul will be Dathomir, is what I'm presuming will be. Because I mean, what other planet would he go to? So
yeah, you got to think he's got to find a planet where he can hide from the Empire again, because now Vader knows of him. Vader knows his existence.
So yeah, of course it'd be Dathomir too, because you could hide there very easily.
Yeah.
And then I mean that's it. Like,
Well, I guess
again, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I guess my follow-up question would be, how many seasons do you think it will run for? Like, obviously Rebels is 4, Bad Batch is 3, Clone Wars is 7. I don't think it'll run for 7, but what do you think the cap is?
I think the cap is 4, but I think it will be 3 seasons.
All right. I like that. That. 3 seasons with time jumps in between would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, and then the 3rd season could take place at like maybe 2 years before Solo, I say. So like maybe 12 BBY.
Yeah, that works for me. Well, before I get you on out of here and get somebody else in, do you got your tickets for the Mandalorian and Grogu yet?
Not yet.
Oh, you gotta get them before you don't get a good seat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I live in an area. Well, I live in an area in Florida where I don't think much people are Star Wars fans here, so I
Yeah.
think I still have a lot of seats available. So.
There you go. Do
Yeah.
you think Din Djarin's gonna die?
Ooh, good question. I think um he could, but I don't think you know Disney and Lucasfilm would want to leave the movie off that way. When we come out of the theater, and you know, I don't know, but I think he could because it would set up Heir to the Empire and the Mando trilogy, and I think it would be very impactful for Grogu too. And even the lines in like the trailers are like pointing to that,
Oh
but
yeah,
they could be fooling us.
yeah, they could be for sure. But that last trailer is definitely all about Din Djarin's death. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you, Kyler. I'm gonna get somebody else on in here. Thank you for the call in, and I'm very glad you liked Maul Shadow Lord.
Yes. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Love it. All right, see you, Kyler. I appreciate that. Round of applause for Kyler in the chat. It's not easy to do these call-ins. It's not easy to talk in front of people. I'm so fucking scared right now. Okay, let's get John Groom in the house. Let's get John Groom in here. How do I call in? It's in the Discord. So if you are not yet in the Discord, there's a link in the description below to a Discord called The People Who Love Star Wars. You go join that Discord, and then there's a stage in the Discord called Call-Ins. You go in there, and then you raise your hand, and then I bring you in. John Groom, how we doing?
Hello, Mike. You all right?
I'm doing fantastic after yesterday.
I've got a different opinion on Brandon Lawson.
Ooh, interesting.
I think he's still alive. Because if you remember when Docky betrayed Maul, Lawson was on top of the cliff and he witnessed it happen. He's the only one who's seen Maul betray Docky. They've done that for a reason. You didn't see Brandon die. He got shot a couple of times and disappeared into the fog. So he's going to come back in next season and he's going to tell Devon that Maul had a hand in Docky's death.
Sorry for the silence. You just blew my mind. Whoa. Okay, I like that a lot. Yeah, you're right. They did focus on that weirdly that he saw Daki die. Whoa. No, he didn't see Daki
They
die.
don't do that by accident.
Yeah, they did not do that
and
by
also
accident.
next season, I think there will be a time jump. But what I'd like to see is, say, a 10-minute sequence where you see a time lapse of Devon being trained by Maul. Say over a 3-year period in about 10 minutes, her progress being trained by Maul, and then maybe getting the Maul tattoos on her face before it goes into the show properly, so you don't have to miss her training.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I think you're right. I think they'll do some sort of training sequence or something of that sort that, doesn't make us miss out on all that. But you pushed way too quickly past this whole Brandon Lawson thing. You're absolutely right, though, because Maul and Devon are not together by the time of Rebels. And the big question is, why is that? Does Devon die? Does Devon leave him? Why does he leave him? If Brandon Lawson comes to Maul and says, I saw what happened, we could get Devon versus Maul. That could be the entire plot.
I mean, it depends how close they've gotten in that time period, Maul and Devon.
Yeah.
And Maul could easily turn around and say, I had an option. I could have either saved him or I could have saved you, and I had to make a decision, which technically he did, because she might have died if he hadn't have turned up when she was fighting the Crow. So he could easily say that.
Yes, but the problem is, if Maul had just decided to go save Devon, that would be one thing. But he pushes Daki. He actually force pushes him. So that's the. They definitely did that for a reason. Now that you mentioned that, there's 100% a reason behind that. That's crazy. All right, we'll switch gears to the Mandalorian and Grogu. Excitement level. What do you think is going down? Din Djarin going to die? Where are we at?
I don't think so, because Din Djarin is Disney Plus's cash cow. Is got the best ratings of any live action show.
Yeah.
Why would you get rid of him? You never know. They might do if they're looking to end the Mando verse. It could, but I don't know. But then what do you do with Grogu after that? Do you send him back to Luke's Jedi Academy? Does he end up with Ahsoka? There's a lot of things, and also that old creature in the chair talking to Grogu. I've got a feeling that that might be some kind of force wielder like the Bendu that Grogu comes across.
Interesting. I like that a lot. I mean, we know that Dave Filoni specifically loves to do that with the Bendu type characters. I'm down for that.
And also where you've got that picture of Embo standing over what you're saying is Din being captured in the net. Is that
Yeah.
100% Din Djarin?
No,
It's
but
very difficult to make out.
yeah, it definitely looks like him. And I mean, that's what we're led to believe because we think he's going to be the one who captures.
Imagine if there's a twist and that's actually Bo-Katan and he's captured Bo-Katan to draw Din Djarin in or something like that.
I like that. That's pretty good. All right. Well, John, I appreciate your call. Appreciate the call in. I'm going to get on the next person in here.
Cheers for having me, Mike.
Of course. All right. So John Groom just blew our freaking minds with the Brander Lawson thing. I'm actually writing it down right now. Brander lives. He is the witness. Witness. Making a full video about this, John. Shout out to you. I'm making a full-on video about this. He is the witness. The reason Devin leaves Maul. It might even be the reason that Devin leaves Maul and becomes a full Sith Lord. Hashtag Darth Talon. All right, Mike, let's get you on in here. Another Mike who loves Star Wars. It's getting out of hand. Now there are two of them.
Now there are two of them. Hey, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you loud and clear.
All right, hold on. I can't hear you hardly. Let me do a different thing here. All right.
Oh.
All right.
I got an echo now. You're going to have to turn the stream down.
All right, I got it all figured out now, Mike. Thanks. Sorry if my voice is a little messed up. Allergies here in Virginia are horrible. Oh.
Yeah, no worries.
All right. Is that better now?
That's much better, yeah. Okay.
Okay. All I want to say is the animation graphics in this, especially me being a graphic designer for like 30 years, man, these are the best we've ever had. And Master Eco Dio, his design as just a character is just top tier. I mean, it is total peak. I'm glad he lasted 10 episodes. But man, it's tough to see him go like that.
Yeah. It was a tough death for sure. Yeah, you're not wrong about the animation. This is like not just the story wise, not just how great the lightsaber duels were, but just visually, this show was incredible. When you look back now, obviously in your head you kind of misremember, but when you look back at like Clone Wars season 1 and how far we've come since then, it really is something.
Yeah, no doubt. And the last thing I'll say is I called Vader as the hologram, but I didn't think he would show up until like a teaser for season 2. So to get him the last 2 episodes was just shocking, and the way he was presented was just more scary than we've probably ever seen him. But that's it. I'll end on that. But thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Of course, Mike. Thank you for coming in. Yeah, there goes another Mike who loves Star Wars. Gotta love that name for sure. And yeah, I mean, the Master Eco, going back to what he said about the animation style and stuff, it's so freaking peak. I mean, come on. But yeah, with the Vader stuff, nobody saw that coming. Nobody saw him being a main character, pretty much, or the main villain, I guess, of the final 2 episodes. Nobody. Not a single person. If they did, they're lying to you. Unless maybe they did. I don't know. But it was absolutely insane. Could not agree with you more. And it just proves yet again that Lucasfilm can continue to blow our minds. They can continue to do it. Which is, not easy to do at this point. Yeah. Okay. I see a couple more people in there. You got to raise your hand if you want to join in. So far, so good in the call-ins. I know it's hard to call in and, speak live. It's never something easy, so I appreciate you guys. You guys have been doing great thus far. And I know a lot of you guys don't want to do it just because, 10 p.m. there. Where are you? Oh, maybe in the UK. I get that. Sorry about my voice. The tree pollen is horrible in Virginia. Your voice sounded fine. Sounds better than mine half the time. You know? Oh my God, we already passed the 2-hour mark. That's insane. All right, maybe if we get one more call in. I see Ron is still in there. Ron, do you want to hop in or no? Is it not working on your end, maybe? But we got to pretty much everything, I think. Ahsoka season 2 leak we did. We did the Mandalorian Din Djarin death thing. Oh, look at this. That's so peak. That is so good. Okay, sorry. I got distracted. Oh, there was this. We'll get to that another time. All right, I'll save that for the next time. Oh, look at this. Grogu's in Times Square. Why can't I go full screen on this? There we go. How they do this? There must be strings attached. I don't buy it. But Grogu using the Force to grab a piece of popcorn out of the air. The marketing has ramped up. And now that Maul is over, the marketing is going to continue to ramp up. Like, this is not going to be... This is going to be enormous. And when you look at the trailer that we just got today, it's going to be crazy. I'll end the stream on this, though. We'll end this all with this. How it started versus how it's going. Maul running over a young Anakin Skywalker on Tatooine in The Phantom Menace. And now an older Anakin Skywalker as Vader fighting Maul in Maul Shadow Lord. Incredible. Incredible. Ron says, sorry, I was driving. Well, you shouldn't be doing call-ins while driving, Ron. Just kidding. No worries. No worries, but that's pretty awesome. How it started versus how it's going. You gotta love that. Oh, and for people, concerned about The Mandalorian and Grogu not doing well, this was the most streamed Star Wars projects by generation in 2025, I believe. Gen Alpha, which is 2 years old to 13-year-olds, is The Mandalorian, obviously, Grogu. Gen Z, which is 14 to 29, which is me, is The Clone Wars. Gotta love that. So, a kids show, The Clone Wars. Millennials, 30 to 45, are watching Andor the most. Andor Season 2 did come out last year, so that, of course, helps the numbers. Gen X is also watching Andor. Again, came out last year. Does help the numbers. And baby boomers, 62 to 80, are The Mandalorian as well, because this is, the most original trilogy thing that's happened since the original trilogy, is The Mandalorian. So, talk about spanning ages. From 2-year-olds to 80-year-olds, The Mandalorian is pretty popular. Andor, of course, because it came out last year, is very popular as well. And then Gen Z, my generation, just knows peak, Just knows what's good. But there you have it. Until next time, I appreciate you all so much more than you'll ever know. Smash a frickin' like in this stream if you have not already. Watch out for a short later on today. And, yeah. Did Mike admit that he was the writer of today's Mandalorian and Grogu teaser? No, I was not. And May teased Din Djarin's death a bunch, but I did not write it. I did not write it. I can't believe how wrong I was on character's death in Maul Shadow Lord. Like, here we are. I'm trying to, give death predictions. I'm trying to make it so... Oh, what did I do? We had a whole segment. What is going on? Close that. No. Stop it. Go away. Stop. Stop this. We had a whole segment called Mic Drop where we were killing off all these characters. Shout out to Nick from Star Wars Jedi Chat. And yet, we didn't even get it right. We didn't get Brandon Lawson, Rook cast. Now, Brandon Lawson may still be alive, and I love that theory quite a bit, but craziness. All right, but having said that, smash a freaking like on this stream if you have not already. And may the Force be with you. Always. Oh, yeah. What a great stream. What a great show. You guys are the absolute best. Yes, we actually do. Shout out to Holly for reminding me. We do have the in-person watch party for the Mandalorian and Grogu at Assembly Row in Somerville, Massachusetts, which is right outside of Boston, in IMAX. I got plenty of tickets. Hit me up if you want one, and your ticket will be free if you can get there. And, of course, we are going to be there live in person watching the Mandalorian and Grogu on May 21st, Thursday, 7:30, premiere night, IMAX, free ticket if you can get there. I appreciate you all so much more than you ever know. Smash a freaking like in this stream. Hope you have a great rest of your evening, great rest of your lives, and good night. Oh, wait. Let me end this poll real quick. Wait. 62% of you guys still say no, you don't think Din Djarin will die. 38% are now on the bandwagon of yes. And good night, everybody.